All right, ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, non-binary pals, all friends of Frisbee, folks here at Puna Sports Hub and those watching home, from home, I should say. Welcome to an exciting match we have for you in the 2023 New Zealand Ultimate Championships in Christchurch. My name, as always, is Blair Munro, and it is an absolute privilege and pleasure for me to bring you coverage of this game between Hammertron Tāwhirimātea on screen at the moment, playing out of the dark uniforms, facing off against Ellipsis from Australia. Now, this being a power pool play, so we're into the crossover stages of the tournament, it is worth noting Hammertron have faced Ellipsis once before and put a win out on them, 14-9. So this is the Australian opportunity for some revenge. It looks like Hammertron are going to be coming out on possibly offense. It is unclear at this moment, but we've got players on the line starting things off. We'll be kicking off in just a moment. Looks like a game to 15. We are going to have 90 minutes on the clock. Doing my absolute best to minimize any bias. Looks like our players are swapping ends, but it is going to be Hammertron coming out on defense. We have Tom Tullett on screen at the moment, an absolute cornerstone of the Ellipsis men's team here in Christchurch this year. And Rob Andrews with him on the line for this first point of the game. The Kapoor brothers, Isaiah and Lehigh, joined by Manaki Hemi, Connor Doherty, Jaden Frost, Taki Murihu Cookson, and Alex Deo. Some huge defensive players for this Tāwhirimātea side. What we're probably going to see if they're able to generate a turn. We'll see whether or not they run down in a zone or a match defense. I was speaking with some of these Hammertron gentlemen yesterday, and they were saying that in terms of that sort of physicality, they've probably got the legs and freshness to really put the pressure on in terms of match defense. Either way, the pull goes up early. Lou and Tollett marked by Murihu Cookson. Looks like we are sticking to a match defense. No, a zone look. Here it is. Just pressuring, forcing a couple of early resets backwards and forwards. It's Lou and Tullett. Kapoor and Murihu Cookson not really letting anything go around. Slowly having to work backwards and forwards until they finally hit a shot in Kent Wilcock on the far sideline. Back to Tullett, wide swing to Lou on the near sideline. Overthrow, coming right over to the commentary booth. Big thanks to Lucas Wilcock for saving my life just there. The disc is going to go to Hammertron. Looks like it's going to be picked up by Lehigh Kapoor to initiate as Hammertron set up in their textbook hex offense. So 2 deep, 3 across the middle, and 2 safeties in the backspace. Kapoor putting it up to Frost. Manages to pull that one down. Looks like a call was made. Just a reminder for those at home, this is a self-officiated sport, so players make their own calls as opposed to having an external referee or official do it for them. They have to resolve them according to their own knowledge of rules of the game. Alex Deo takes a deep reset. Murihu Cookson cutting across, pressured by Wilcock. It's just snatched in, still losing yards. Cookson known for being a very body player, very physical with it. Pressured high, has to put a big shot up, looking for Deo. Just overthrown. Tullett applying that little bit of pressure on the reception as well. It's going to give the disc back to Ellipsis, exactly what they needed. They want a hold to start this game off. Nice reset across field to Lou. Finds Denya. Andrews at the halfway line. Murihu Cookson and Isaiah Kapoor applying pressure to the front of the offense. Tullett gets a free reset. Lou's making himself available. Murihu Cookson applying just enough pressure to shut that down. Great footwork by Hemi, staying in front of the channel of throws. Kent Wilcock has to come underneath to keep the reset low. Lou slowly getting closed in on. Kent Wilcock has it. A low release. Hinge backhand, a curious choice, but it's Denya with a scooper over the top to Andrews. Very close to a score now. High blade over to Lou. Nice, comfortable forehand. Finds Tullett. 10 meters out from the end zone. 5 now. It's Denya. Back to Tullett. Back to Denya. A push pass, the absolute coach killer. Some nice in-motion throwing as Tullett tries to drive everything, manages to push one through. What a great score for Ellipsis. Looks like Wiseham to finish that one off. We'll see that again. Tullett bouncing the disc, just trying to keep the stall count low. Puts one right through to Wiseham unmarked. A long point for the Ellipsis side, slowly having to work it through after a number of turns. 7 minutes into the game, and we have 1 point on the board. So Ellipsis to come down on defense this time. David Jackson, Hamish Furness, Lucas Wilcock, Vaughan Wilson, Will Hamilton, Finn Collins, and Michael Downey, the offensive set for Hammertron, hoping to get a hold here. There's the pull, high with a nice little angle, touches down, bounces off the hands of Hamish Furness, picks up quickly, finds Michael Downey. Sharma on the mark, aggressive. Curtis Lai trying to cover the reset. Hamish Furness with the big fakes, eventually chipping through the middle, finds David Jackson. Nice offset to Michael Downey, who passes to Wilcock, continues the run. Big fake to move the defense, gets himself a lot of room. Threads through the middle, nice bounce off David Jackson, gives Michael Downey a forehand opportunity in power position. Who's underneath it? It's Vaughan Wilson with the score, possibly. But again, players are going to make a call. We might get to see that again. Downey with his textbook jab step. One quick bounce, he's got it, power position. Sharma's not in front, he puts the huck up. It's got a lot of float as Hodgson gets there first. Looks like both players went up at the same time. It's a little hard to tell. There's the power position huck. Get another angle. Looks like Vaughan Wilson just had the slight edge in front when he went up. Looks like they're going to call that one a point anyway. The score is going to go 1-1. Some great offensive flow by the Hammertron O-line there. And now we see some more defensive powerhouses.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Oh, just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Okay. Great work. That good score. Good score. All right, and we are back after the Hammertron put 1 point on the board. We've got Kieran Monsell, Alex Quixley, Hemi, Lehigh Kapoor, Connor Doherty, and Jaden Frost making up our defensive line. Alex Deo with the big pull. He's going to put it long and deep. Fielded comfortably by Tullett, working with Lou. Hammertron playing a 2-3-2 zone by the looks of things. Alex Wixley and Monsell really trying to stop the flow. Tullett, he's trying to get away with something exciting. Has to look back, has to find Wilcock. Goes around, finds Tullett again. Denya takes a step. Feeling under pressure, has to go to the safe near sideline, finds Ely. Threads one through. Wilcock using those big limbs, trying to stretch the defense out. Tullett to Denya again. Isn't given the forehand as an option. Great patience from the Ellipsis side. It's Tullett, Wilcock, Denya. Quixley trying to pressure the mark. He threads one through to Denya again. It's Ely. Things are starting to open up. The defense scrambling to get into position. It's Lou with the disc, pushing towards the far sideline. Little dishy chip goes through to Denya. Lou manages to snake around, get a big shift from Quixley, finds him out of position, has to go back to Denya instead. Drops some yards, but opens up the field a little. Kent Wilcock receives near sideline. Tullett has it. Bouncing off Wilcock, losing yards. Few puts a big shot up. Who's going to be there? Oh boy, it's Peter Ely, comes down with it over Jaden Frost. Resets to Lou, puts the big shot deep. It's Andrews underneath it. Andrews comes down with it. What a shot. Somebody needs to check that man for performance-enhancing substances. My godfather, as my old maths teacher, Mr. Wallier, would say. What a big reach. Pulls that one down. Such a high angle. Ely comes down with it. Drops off to Lou with a big backhand. Stretches up. Andrews in triple coverage. He's the one who comes down with the disc. What an amazing play to put Ellipsis up by one. Unpressured. Big backhand. Frost, Deo, and Kapoor peeling off, trying to close that one down, but it's not going to go their way. Michael Downey underneath, catches the pull early, recenters to Hamish Furness before the defense can get set up. Comes wide, finds Lucas Wilcock. Puts a big shot up, it's Tom Davis underneath. Tom Davis going to shut that one down, giving the disc back to Ellipsis. Matt Daly pushing the disc towards Hallisey on the near sideline, working back towards the midfield. It's Finn Collins on the mark. Puts one through to Chew, number 34. Continues to drive. It's Andrews yet again. Andrews up by 2. Ellipsis up by 2, courtesy of Andrews. We are back for the next episode of the Rob Andrews Show, featuring Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. As Ellipsis come out on defense yet again, putting in some amazing work to generate these turns and convert them to scores. Wilcock, Collins, Wilson, Hamilton, Jackson, Furness, and Downey on the Tāwhirimātea offensive line. Hodgson with the disc for Ellipsis, about to drive one deep into the Hammertron's defensive area. Great big shot. Fielded comfortably by Furness early. To Downey. To Collins on the near sideline. Puts a huge shot up looking for Wilcock. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Not able to reel it in. Inside the zone. Quick shot out to Vaughan Wilson on a full extension. One-handed layout as Hammertron put one on the board. It is now 3-2, still in favor of the side from Australia, but what an amazing play, such a quick point. I can hardly believe it. What a grab. Huge put by Collins. Great read and rundown by Wilcock. Wasn't in. Has to pull it back to the zone. Quick step to the far sideline by Wilson. Able to put the turn on. Huge layout. What a score. And so Ellipsis now forced to contend with an aggressive Hammertron offense to try and swing the momentum back in their favor. We're going to see some of those classic defenders quickly. Deo, Morehu Cookson, Hemi, Kapoor, Doherty, and Frost. The big left-handed pull from Jaden Frost. It goes high and long. Is it going to touchdown? Fielded early. Denya and Tullett working with Lou in the backfield space. Quixley applying pressure up front early. Has to go up over the top, right close to the sideline. Quixley forces back towards the middle where Morehu Cookson is waiting. They manage to slip past him, but are forced eventually by the downfield pressure to work back. Lou and Denya. Denya chips one through, gets behind the first wall of the Hammertron zone. Opportunities as they try and use the width to try and curve around the front of that zone, but Quixley and Morehu Cookson working too well together with the downfield players to stop that option from happening. Tullett's got it. Has to go back to Lou, back to Tullett. Slow passes, 1 meter at a time. As they run through trying to communicate, hey, stretch the width a little bit. We've got Denya very close to the sideline as an option, but Deo's just a little too close. He doesn't even get looked at. Tom Tullett bounces one through to Lou. Morehu Cookson tries to take a bite, but he can't do it. It's Tullett with the disc out around the halfway mark. Pushes forehand to the far sideline, finds Wilcock back to Tullett. Through the middle to Denya. They're slowly working away. A scooper over the top. It's Ely. Big backhand fake, shifts the defense, tries to wind up a hammer, goes back to the holster. It's Tullett again. Tullett to Lou. Andrews as a support option on the near sideline. He gets taken. Denya's there. Big fake, but Quixley covers it. We have to go back to midfield for Ellipsis. Bouncing off Tullett through to Lou. Andrew with a chip and a laser beam of a forehand for a great score by Ely. Ellipsis 4, Hammertron 2. A very long point against a very aggressive and oppressive zone defense. Taking the field a metre or two at a time, a far cry from that long bomb we saw from Finn Collins earlier. Hallisey with the disc. Just getting ready to kick off the next point. 21 minutes into the game. Our first point taking 7 minutes to score. The other points happening relatively quickly after that. Hallisey with a huge left backhand driving deep into the Hammertron end zone. Michael Downey with a quick recenter. Finds Furness as Ellipsis come down with a zone of their own. It's Wilson with a quick 1-2 touch. Works around with Downey. Some great work by Ellipsis, counting off those initial passes as Wilson drives one deep. Starting off with the zone defense, he's looking for Wilcock, but they've gradually faded. He pulls it down. What a huge play by Wilcock the Elder as he takes to the skies and just reels that one down. A great put by Vaughan Wilson. Some smart, switchy offense by that Ellipsis, but it was not enough. Coming out in a zone for the first pass, first 5 passes or so, they were gradually counting them down. You could hear the call from the sideline, fold, fold. They're looking to switch back to a match defense. Just not enough. There it is. What a grab over Hodgson and Tullett trying to support. But as they say in Ultimate, you can't teach tall. So our Hammertron defensive line coming out. Isaiah Kapoor, Doherty, Quixley, Lehigh Kapoor. Isaiah Kapoor coming off the field in favor of Hemi, Frost, and Morehu Cookson. And some offensive powerhouses. Denya again, Ely, Sharma, Wilcock, Andrews again for the Ellipsis side. Dio with a huge pull. Touches grass, but Denya picks up early. Tullett comes near sideline, finds Andrews, Quixley in front. Hemi, the other pair of the chase, or the other part of the pair. Blue winds up the hammer, but it's not going to go. Tullett puts up a big forehand, finds Sharma on the far sideline. Kapoor pressuring the reset. Ely's got it. Looks like we've switched to a match defense. Pushing deep. It's Rob Andrews yet again. What an amazing play there by the Ellipsis side. Rob Andrews, a force unto himself. As we go 5-3, Ellipsis over Hammertron. Sharma puts one out for Ely. Doherty gradually closes in, but the forehand goes up anyway. Great work by Andrews. Downey, Collins, Wilson, Wilcock, Osman, Jackson, and Furness. As Hallisey puts up the left again. Furness trying to get underneath for a good read. Fields cleanly, finds Downey center field. Comes wide, finds Wilcock. Jackson pushing deep, immediately covered by Tom Davis. It's not going to go, has to find Downey on the inside. Back to center field for Wilcock, a hammer fake, drops the real thing. It's Finn Collins, wide open. Lai can't stop the quick give go of Hamish Furness. Threads one through to Jackson, straight across to Collins, back to Downey. Wilson making himself available as a reset. The scuba over the top for Wilcock, back centering to Furness. The defense almost not really present despite a great bid from Lee. Collins taking a second to reset the pace, another bid, but Furness doesn't stop, bouncing through to Jackson for Vaughan. Wilson for the score. What an amazing performance by Hammertron. Flawless offense. Ellipsis never really getting a bite at the disc despite some very impressive bids by Lee and Lai. But when Hammertron want to hold the disc, they will hold the disc. Looked a little bit less like the classic structure of Ultimate, your vertical and horizontal stacks, and more like a fun game of keep away. But that is enough. That is all they need to put another one on the board. It's defense now for Hammertron, hoping to get a break to tie the game against Ellipsis. 28 minutes into our 90-minute game. People slowly starting to gather in the stands. The lovely ladies from Zodiac sitting up in the stands watching this match unfold. Jaden Frost with the disc for the pull to set things up for the defense for Tāwhirimātea. There it is. What great follow through. Huge amount of float. Tullett takes it down, finds Denya. Hemi closes in. Kapoor stops the upline from Tullett, who turns it into a full field. It's Andrews. Great bid by Quixley, but it's not going to be enough. Ellipsis are going to keep possession. Puts a shot up. Who's there? Jaden Frost is there. Says no. What a huge defensive play. He's all arms and legs, but that's all you need. A gentle repositioning of the disc by Kieran Maunsell from the sidelines. Alex Deo to pick it up, walk the last 3 meters, establish a pivot foot inbound, and see what happens for the rest of this point. Frost with a hot step, pushes up the sideline. Deo doesn't really have a lot in the way of options, comes full wide, finds Hemi. Alex Deo finds Frost. There's the backhand to Hemis, very close to the end zone here. Throws a quick fake. Osman has to recorrect. Puts one, a little blade right across the Lehigh Kapoor. Needs an isolation in the end zone, has to look back, finds Deo. Wants to wind up the hammer, has to look off the forehand. What's happening? There's the hammer. It's Hemi. Can he put it through? Osman for the score. That is going to be enough for Hammertron Tāwhirimātea to tie the game. We're going to get to see that again. There it is, the hammer. Finds Hemi. Puts it in a little bit low, but Osman's not afraid to get his hands dirty. Nearly manages to put the disc out of frame on that kick spike. Be gentle, Frank. These things cost money. Supported by Kieran Maunsell and Isaiah Kapoor. So we have 3 up the front. He has to go wide, finds Wilcock. Murihu Cookson looking to cover the continuation up that lane. Denya's still got it. Maunsell pressuring the front now. Managing to give up a break. It's Denya all the way through to Ely. Kapoor shuts down the next pass, but they're able to chip it back towards the infield. Scuba over the top to an unmarked player. Tullett, centre field to Wilcock, manages to drop one off to Andrews to keep the count low. Wilcock comes in again. Little shoulder tap off Kapoor. Bounces off Tullett. Comes off Andrews. Tullett gets the disc again near sideline, working back with Andrews. Thornton closing in. It's Denya. Thornton shifting his assignment. Trying to stop that Scuba again. Keeping that hand high. It's Andrews. He's got the throws. Denya to Wilcock. Maunsell closing in. Coming across, finds Tom Tullett. Muriu down the continuation as Thornton takes the assignment, puts the pressure on the mark. It's back to Tullett. Kapoor in front. Ellipsis having to take their time working this disc. It's Wilcock, manages to chip one through to Ely. Sharma cutting deep, wants to get involved. But it's a patient game as Andrews goes around, chips one, manages to hit the other side of Maunsell. Right on the doorstep, big hammer across to Tullett. Denya, Scuba over the top to Ely. What a score. Ellipsis 6, Hammertron 5. So timeout has been called. So we'll just take a moment as his players try and consolidate. So we are back after that timeout. Ellipsis up by 1 in this exciting match, the 2023 New Zealand Ultimate Championships. My name is Blair Monroe. Very, very excited to be here to provide coverage for this match. Happy birthday to my sister Rachel, if she's out there watching. Highly unlikely. I don't think my family take too much of an interest in what I do in my spare time. But what I do in my spare time is come down and give you the very best in Ultimate with the proud support of ULTI.TV. Head on over to patreon.com/ULTI.TV if you like what you see. You want to keep us in business, give us your spare change. And so Ellipsis to come out on defense now. 2 points away from half. What a huge rip. It's going high. Is it going to fade back inbounds? Yes, it is. Michael Downey picks up early. Collins to Wilcock. Hamilton not super aggressive on that cut. Slightly overthrown by Wilcock is going to give Ellipsis a turn and an opportunity to get a break here. It's Tullett. Has to go back center field, finds Ely, marked by the long arms of Finn Collins. He's not going to give up that backhand so easily. Tullett goes wide, finds Hodgson. Still driving on the sideline. Hodgson, quick back step. Bounces the disc, finds Tullett. We go back far sideline. It's Rob Andrews. Tullett marked by Wilson. A solid matchup here, but Tullett seems unfazed. Threads one through, and Andrews has it. Ely not making himself an option. But Matt Daly is. Ellipsis now up by 2. 7-5, 1 point away from taking half. See that again. That's the Rob Andrews special. Gets a bit of overcommitment from Finn Collins. Manages to thread one through. Finds Matt Daly for the score. It's Hallisey again with the disc for the pull. The lippy left-hander. Big left-handed puller from Ellipsis. Osman, Hamilton, Wilson, Wilcock, Collins, Furness, and Downey. For the Hammertron side, it's fading, but touches down just in bounds. Downey's got it, finds Wilson center field. Goes up. Wilcock dives to keep it in grounds. Downey gets free. Some nice working with. Osman goes up and gets it. Collins has it now, marked by Hallisey, who slowly closes in, goes wide, finds Furness center field. A laser beam across, a pick has been called. So just a reminder for those watching at home, this is a non-contact sport, and so if a player's ability to follow their opposition player when they're on defense is impeded by the movement or position of another player, and they've tried to avoid contact, then they can call a pick, and players are able to catch up to where they reasonably thought they would have been. A huge bid there by Hallisey, but it's not enough. Collins gets it. Finds Furness center field to Osman. Big fakes, goes back to Furness. So compact, so efficient play. Wilcock, on the other hand, very long, stretchy. Reaches out, finds Finn Collins. The big backhand. Wilcock goes, takes it. It's Downey despite a great bid. Wilcock back to Downey. Is it going to go away? Curtis Lai manages to put the clamps on. This looks like a timeout was called. Not a bad option. Right on the end zone, there's too much mobility happening. Things are looking very static or swirly in the end zone, I guess. Maybe even too dynamic. Just going to take a moment to mentally reset, think, what do we have to do to put out this point? We know that the Hammertron defensive side, they can really pour some pressure on. It is up to their offense to make sure that those points start coming in. Great call by Michael Downey. for a timeout there. To break the timeout, they're going to come out and establish their offensive structure first before giving the Ellipsis side an opportunity to set up their defense in response to what Hammertron show them. Very close to the end zone. So there's all kinds of options. Michael Downey does love a good scuba, so we might see something coming out over the top. Well, it really depends. They might be resetting that hex structure because they'll probably have some very structured play coming out of this. I wouldn't be surprised if what we see is Lucas Wilcock immediately pushing deep and then having someone come in to fill that space. That is exactly what we see. It's Finn Collins coming in to try and push that space, but we have to go back. Furness can't get a hand to it. It's a huge block. Great work there by the defense. It was Chu who shut it down. There's the big forehand. Who's underneath? It's Hamish Furness. The man himself, Hamish Furness, manages to get the block back. A little bit of hard work, but Hammertron get the possession back as Wilcock pushes aggressively deep. Using those long legs, Finn Collins marked by Hallisey, but he gets the forehand off anyway. It's coming down. He's not going to be able to touch that one back in bounds. So Ellipsis will take that disc from where it first crossed the line. Matt Daly is going to pick up and initiate. Sitting up in kind of a loose vertical stack with Chu, making himself available as a deep cut early. Curtis Lai can't do it, but Michael Downey can. He puts it up to Wilcock's right shoulder, who reaches up, does a little mid-air 180, and comes down with the great score. Hammertron bringing it back within one, stopping Ellipsis from taking half. A multitude of roadworks happening around beautiful Ōtautahi to come and join us on the fields and see this exciting game as Alex Dale puts up the big pull. Touches down with enough force to bounce and to lose hands. It's Tullett marked by Lehigh Kapoor. Andrews pushing deep, covered by Frost, so the disc goes back to Lou by way of Denya. Quixley in front of it. Is he going to give up the forehand? It's not the forehand that Denya wants. Hemi pushes in, but he can't stop Lou getting the disc. There's the forehand. Wilcock's got it, but it's a little bit long. Managed to get separation from Osman, but it's not going to be fast enough to pull that one in. That is what Hammertron need. Are they going to be in a position to close this point out and take us to our Galaxy point? Remember, with a game to 15, the first team to put 8 on the board is going to take half, I should say. Jaden Frost pressured by Andrews, has to go to the far sideline to find Alex Dio. Hemi displayed a great bid by Lou. Puts a big shot up looking for Doherty. Doherty's underneath it, but Ely's closing. Doherty gets a good touch. There's going to be no call. We'll see that again. Looks like Ely might have got the can opener in there, but there was no call. Andrews gets it over the bidding Frost. Goes wide. Easily finds Tullett, although giving up a few yards to do so. Kapoor aggressive in front of the disc. Denya tries to get a shimmy step, manages to get free of Quixley, continues on with the backhand to Andrews on the near sideline. Hemi drops off to cover the lane. Slowly closes in to start putting the stall count on. Tullett manages to shake free of the agile Kapoor. Wiseham again. Back to Tullett, pushes across the front of the disc, but it's Denya working the near sideline. Andrews, can he finish it? Yes, he can. A great shot through to Lou for the score. And the half, Ellipsis 8, Hammertron 6. What an electric first half as Ellipsis men from Australia facing off against Hammertron Tāwhirimātea from the Waikato region. Just an absolutely fantastic match. Both of these teams leaving everything out on the field. We could not ask for a better display of the greatest sport in the world. But until we come back for the second half, my name is Blair Monroe. This is the 2023 New Zealand Ultimate Championships at Ngā Puna Y Sports Hub in Christchurch. We'll be back soon.
Three, two, one. Welcome to the machine.
And so we are back for the second half of this exciting match. Hammertron down by 2, Ellipsis having taken half. But Hammertron are going to start on offense for this point. It's Wilcock and Collins really starting to chip away at this Ellipsis defense. Michael Downey pushing into the deep space, pulling Hodgson out with him. Wilcock puts it deep. Who's going to be there? Is it Hamish Furness? It looks like it might be, but Hodgson's making a play. No! It is Symbol with the huge hit. Put a little bit too much float on that one. Too much time for the defense to get in position. Despite a great read by Hamish Furness. Hodgson going to walk the disc to the front of the end zone. Taking a second to catch his breath after that impressive chase. Peeling off his defender to close that gap and try and make a play on that score, stopping Furness from getting a point. Michael Downey, aggressive defense. It's Andrews right by the near sideline, marked by Collins. Floats one through to Chew, marked by Jackson. It's low, but Hodgson keeps it in hands. Daly to Andrews. He gets the backhand away. It's Chew one more time. Jackson trying to keep those hands up, and a pick has been called. So we'll just make sure that the players position themselves to where they think they might have reasonably been had the pick not occurred. Ellipsis currently with 4 players in the upfield space, trying to use as much of the width as they possibly can in terms of their handler movements. 3 in the downfield. It's Andrews with the disc. Hallisey pushing deep under and to pull out that disc. We've got Symbol, far sideline, works around. Collins with a quick shoulder check. Trying to figure out where the disc is going to go. Wilson marking Lee. The big hammer goes up. Comfortably pulled in by Symbol. So that is going to be a bookend. 6 to the Ellipsis 9 as Symbol shut down that disc on the far end. Just taking it out of the top of Hamish Furness. Hodgson puts the big hammer up. Almost unmarked. Symbol walks away with that one. A bit of the wave of the disc to say, this is mine. Now, it is a common saying in tournaments of this level that the hardest team to beat is the team you've already beaten. Hammertron in the Ellipsis men matchup earlier on in the tournament came away with a victory 14-9. A good friend of mine always used to say that every superpower is fighting the last war. So when you come off a win, you don't have as much edge, you don't have as much incentive to necessarily adapt to what your opposition is doing. On the flip side, Ellipsis, they've seen what Hammertron have done and have been able to do, and so they've probably got a better sense of what adjustments need to be made in order to keep them in this game. And they certainly are, as Hallisey puts up the big left-handed shot once again. The lippy left-hander. Fielded by Furness, finds Downey. Lai tries to get it. Wilson with a big loopy cut. Pressured by Wiseham. Downey puts the big shot up. He's looking for Wilcock. Can he pull it down? It's fading towards the right. Is he going to get underneath it? He's going to get to it. But that ain't going to do it. Definitely out of bounds. A great attempt. Had the separation from Daly, but it looks like the shot by Downey was just a little rushed. He didn't have as much control over the edge as you might have expected. Tullett slips. The reset doesn't come. Takes a few seconds. Collins has it. Chew with a big backhand. Daly's got double coverage. Can he pull it down? No, he can't. The disc doesn't come back in. We are 60 minutes into the game. Taking a few seconds to set up as Lai starts the stall count. Everyone's pushing deep. Wilcock on a nice upline cut, bounces the disc forward to Wilson, continues his momentum on, but it's not going to happen. Has to go wide, loses yards to get the disc to Furness, back to Downey. Pressured towards the far sideline by Lai. Hamfish with a slow fake, but finds Collins, marked by Tom Davis. Putting the tall against the tall. Will Hamilton on a great upline cut. Good movement from that young lad. Gets a bit out of Hallisey, but it's not going to be the one. The no-look scuba crossfield. What a shot. All the way. Hamish Furness, crossfield to Michael Downey. Some quick changes of direction. The momentum keeps going. It's Collins. Who's the cut? Looks back. Furness puts it through. Michael Downey in the midfield, not too far from the end zone. Some big sweeping fakes, trying to cue the downfielders. What a great play by Hallisey. Not Hallisey, sorry. That looked like Chew on that one. That's a beautiful throw to the near sideline to find Daly. Wilcox slowly closing in. Lai making a very, very spirited call. Question is whether or not he had control of it before he left the ground. He's decided that he didn't, so possession is going to go to Hammertron. What a fantastic display of spirit as Wilcock uncorks the big forehand. It's Wilson. Vaughan Wilson reels that one in. Hammertron 7, Ellipsis 9. Some just amazing spirit on display by Curtis Lai. We're going to get to see it again. A great slide. Michael Downey asking, do you want that? Might have been in. Curtis Lai immediately. Disc on the ground, letting Hammertron have possession just because he may not have been sure. Wilcock immediately counters. Wise have been hot pursuit, but it's Wilson who's going to walk away with it. And we're going to see Hammertron's defensive line come out yet again. Deo, Kapoor, Frost, Quixley, Jackson, Doherty, and Hemi for the Hammertron defensive line. There's the signal. And the pull. What a beautiful shot. Touches down, fielded by Lou. Works with Tullett early. It's Andrews helping to chip the disc forward down the field. Great play by Ely to keep that one in hand. Hemi stops the reset to Lou, but has to give up Denya as an option. Great bid there by Frost, but it's not going to be enough to stop Andrews bouncing the disc back to center field to find Denya. Tullett almost closed off by the aggressive defense of David Jackson, just enough to make them lose yards on that possession. An opportunity for a switch there maybe, but Tullett comes wide, finds Lou. Hemi slowly closes in, starts the stall count, but Tullett runs through with a great chase. Nice backhand to Denya. Ely makes a play, gets the score. Huge bid by Doherty, but it's not going to be enough as Ellipsis go 10 over the Hammertron. Tāwhirimātea 7. great play, but it's Ely who comes down with it. Once again, the Hammertron O-line facing down against some very fierce Ellipsis defenders. Hodgson with the disc, about to kick things off. What a pull, going to be fielded by Wilcock for change, pushing back into the upfield space. Marked by Daly. Osman goes to ground to keep that one in hands. Furness finds Downey on the far sideline, marked by Symbol. Puts a big shot across for Wilcock, who pulls it down. What a great score by the young Wilcock there. Hammertron 8 to Ellipsis 10. It is, as we've seen a lot throughout the time, this offensive line for Hammertron, they're capable of both firing off a long game or playing patient small ball, depending on what the defense gives them. Downey with Collins has some slightly sweeter targets in mind, putting the point on the board for the Hammertron team. Only 2 points in it. There's a saying in Ultimate: offense wins games, defense wins championships. We are at the national championships. We're going to need to see something different from this Hammertron defensive line if they're going to claw back the 2-break lead that they've given Ellipsis so far. And there's the big pull from Jaden Frost. Touches down with a little bit of roll. Takes Denyer a little bit of time to get it set. Alex Deo lets the backhand go, but Jaden Frost, what a play. Andrews doesn't get a say in it. We're going to get to see that again. Huge touch. Clean defense. It's exactly what we're talking about. Hammertron defense needed to do something, and Jaden Frost certainly did something. Alex Deo going to pick up the disc. He's got the entire end zone ahead of him. 2 players opposite, 2 behind, 2 in front. Who's going to make the aggressive cut that's going to get the disc? It's Lehigh. Kapoor manages to get separation from Sharma. Gets the disc, finds Dio to Hemi on the far sideline. Slight overthrow. It's going to give the disc back to Ellipsis. They've got an opportunity now. They can go up by 3 if they're patient, if they're careful. Quixley manages to close in. It's Sharma who's got the disc. Kapoor slow to close that one off. Morihu Cookson tracking Wilcock deep. Ely's going. But there's too much pressure up front. Dale wasn't going to let him have it. Timeout has been called by Ellipsis. So head on over to patreon.com/ULTI.TV if you like what you see and you want to help us bring you the very best in Ultimate here in New Zealand and Australia and around the world right to your TV screens, your laptops, your phones at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're having trouble sleeping. Patreon.com/ULTI.TV. Give us your spare change. So after that timeout, we're going to see what adjustments have been made by these teams. Ellipsis are going to continue on offense. Looks like Ellipsis are going to be setting up in a vertical stack. Hammertron just trying to apply a match defense. The stack angled away from the disc. It's going to let the open side, or the side that the thrower is being given, be a little bit wider. So it's going to have a bit more utility for some of these Ellipsis cutters. Sharma wide open. Manages to get the crossfield, bounces through to Wilcock. Morehu Cookson shuts down the next pass. Goes back. Tullett takes it in the gut. It's Wilcock. He's open. There's a forehand, but he decides not to. Foul is called as he tries to step through that throw. And just as an exciting piece of news up next on this field, we actually have the gender flipped version of this game as Hammertron Mahuika will be facing off against the Ellipsis women's team very shortly. Looks like the foul's going to be accepted. Wilcock's going to get the disc, drops to Ely, big hammer goes up, it's Lehigh Kapoor! What an absolute dynamite defensive play by Lehigh. The hammer was on until it wasn't. Sharma, some great visual calls, lots of cueing, letting his throwers know that he's open. But when Lehigh Kapoor is on the field, you are never quite as open as you think. Alex Dio is going to pick it up, bring it to the front of the end zone. Quixley already pressuring deep. Lehigh Kapoor marked by Sharma on the near sideline. He winds up with a forehand. He's trying to move him. Has to go for a reset, finds Connor Doherty. Can't get around Ely's foot flash. Quixley toes it in. Nice upline thread. Puts the big forehand up. He's looking for Alex Dio, but it's Tullett underneath. It's Alex Quickly with the score. What a beautiful point to bring Hammertron within one. Great defensive pressure by Tullett. A huge play. Great big leap. Tries to get a touch. Goes over the intended receiver. We'll see that again. Little off pivot. Backhand to Kapoor. Quixley continuing. Kapoor puts the big forehand up. Looking for Dio. Quixley recognizes it. Gets in a better position. Runs that one down. Right before, I believe it was Lou, was able to get a hand to it. Tullett and Dio both take to the skies. Tullett had the advantage. A little pinky high five there, but Quixley comes down with it to bring Tāwhirimātea within one. Their defensive line will see the field again. Are they going to be able to tighten this one up? Hitting double digits, keeping it a close game. Only time will tell. We have Maunsell, Hemi, Doherty, Frost, Dio, Thornton, and Isaiah Kapoor. Huge shot. Goes up high and wide over the far sideline before peeling back towards center field. Fielded by Lou. To Tullett, marked by Maunsell. Lets it recenter. Thornton and Maunsell working the front, trying to stop the disc, gaining any yards downfield. Maunsell baiting a few free pivots out of Tullett. Lou is just able to get it. Might be an injury call. No, it's not. Stall out. Potential stall, so much like a shot clock in basketball. A player has 10 seconds to release the disc as counted by the opposition before it's an automatic turnover Like Kieran Maunsell has said many a time, you only need to play 10 seconds of good defense. And so we're going to have this conversation to see whether or not that release was after the stall count, whether or not there's a turnover here for the defensive line, and Tāwhirimātea given an opportunity to tie the game. So just sneaking through the replay from our perspective. Managed a solid at least 9 seconds between catch and release for Tom Tullett getting that disc. Depends on the speed of the stall, but somewhere around the sort of 6 real seconds translating to 10 Frisbee seconds is pretty common. And so it looks like the disc is going to go back to Tullett. Disc is going to come in on, I believe, stall 8. So it looks like that call is going to be contested. Looking for Andrews deep. Finds Lou again. It's Thornton one more time, aggressive in front of the disc. They're pushing them all the way back into their own end zone. Maunsell in front of Denya. There's the big crossfield hammer. Andrews takes a slide, pushes the disc away to Lou, back to Andrews. They're slowly able to work. Andrews taking the disc for a little bit of a walk there. There's the big hammer. Peter Ely gets it, finds Denya. Goes wide. Lou has the disc, working with Tullett now. There's Denya. Tullett to Lou. Maunsell tries to take a bite out of it. Denya pressured by Thornton. Has to go back, finds Tullett. Maunsell in a good position. Andrews and Tullett on a bit of a run. Getting it on the trot. Can it be shut down? Eventually the momentum dries up, but Andrews is on a dangerous position. He goes back, finds Tullett. They're still pretty close. It's Lou, one of those key handlers. Andrews now has the disc. Denya trying to play a little bit of body contact to be inbounds in front of the opposition. Andrews doesn't have a lot. He has to go back to Tullett. Hammertron slowly pushing them back. Andrews is going to be the option. He gets pushed the up line. It's Lou instead. Goes wide around, finds Ely. Straight through the middle to Denya. Andrews has it. Threads it straight through for a beautiful score for Matt Daly, keeping that 2-point lead after some very, very patient post-stall count offense. Absolutely huge. What a play. Just an absolute slog. Huge grind there from the Ellipsis offense to put that one on the board. About 8.5 minutes left in the game for our soft cap before we start moving to our soft cap rules. We'll explain what that means as we approach the 90-minute mark. Furness, Collins, Furness again. Furness goes wide, finds Wilcock. Gets touched by Rob Andrews. That is not what the Hammertron Tāwhirimātea side were looking for. Looks like a foot block there. What a great show by Rob Andrews. Michael Downey stops the around backhand. Does some great cover, lets him have that open side. And it's Hamish Furness who's going to shut that one down. Michael Downey, Finn Collins, an open Wilcock. Vaughan Wilson, he wants to put the forehand up. Decides instead, finds David Jackson. Finn Collins instead, they really are driving it up, cramming it up the cram hole, being forced to use such a narrow portion of the field, and Lucas Wilcock manages to snatch that one down. Happened so quick, nobody had the chance to react, but it looks like they're going to call that one not in. Looks to me like he was very much off the ground before he made contact with the disc, and his first contact point would have been inbounds. And it's Finn Collins with the score. Lucas Wilcock snatching that one down right outside the end zone, manages to drop a pass of only a few centimeters despite the coverage. We'll see that again. Checks the disc in so players can move, plants his pivot foot. Finn Collins manages to get Sam Lee on the back foot and toes that one in. Just an amazing play there to bring Tāwhirimātea back within one. Can't do a look at the scoreboard without a pull focus. Alex Deo with the disc for the Tāwhirimātea defense line, sending out Hemi Doherty. Hamilton, Quixley, and Lehigh Kapoor against Ely, Wilcock, Denya, Andrews, Tullett. And Lou. An opportunity here for Hammertron to generate a turn and convert, putting another break on the board, which will bring it back to a tied game. And there is the pull. It's got a lot of float. It's going to edge down right at the feet of Denya to Tullett early. It's Lehigh Kapoor and Alex Deo right up front. Doherty pressuring that deep shot. Jaden Frost trying to pin down Andrews, but he gets the around backhand. Tullett's got it far sideline. Kapoor getting into position. Hamilton against Wilcock. Threads a laser beam through. Can Deo stop the continuation? Denya has to come wide, finds Tullett. Hamilton, a little scrambled, manages to get to Wilcock. As Andrews takes to the sky to reel that one in, back to Tullett center field. Lehigh Kapoor closing, taking away that backhand side, giving up the forehand, the near side of the field. Denya has it now, not too far. He wants to throw the hammer, decides against it. Wilcock manages to get separation from Hamilton. He gets the disc as they push towards the far sideline around the brick mark. Back to Denya midfield. Back across to Tullett. Little shimmy. Denya wants to walk that one in, but it's not quite there, but Andrews has it. Andrews has it, the Rob Andrews Show, featuring the rest of Ellipsis and Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. One man really out here doing the most from coast to coast. Number 25 for Ellipsis as they go back up by 2 points. 12 against the Hammertron Tāwhirimātea 10, sorry. Look at this explosive foot speed from Andrews. Huge work there as we see the Hammertron offensive line come out one more time, hoping to stay in it. A little less than 3 minutes before we hit the soft cap. And so just an explanation ahead of time. Once you hear the hooter go, we will conclude the point currently being played. We will add 1 to the highest score at that time, and then it will be a flat race to that number. So if our hooter were to go now, we would finish this point, a point considered to have started as soon as the previous point ends. And then if Ellipsis were to score, we'd be looking at a game to 14. If Hammertron were to score, we'd be looking at a game to 13. So there's a huge amount of pressure on both of these sides right now to really claw it out. 2 minutes left on the clock. Hallisey with the big left-handed pull. Furness backing up, trying to get a good read. Fielded comfortably, finds Osman. Some big fakes. Gets it to Wilcox, some big fakes to try and signal. Back to Osman, Hamilton's available as a reset, doesn't get looked at. He's pressured, he gets the forehand out, and it's Daly. Slides one through, finds Chew. Osman back on defense. Timeout called. M. Hodgson giving the cheeky nod. It's a veteran call. It's a great place for Ellipsis to have generated that turn. A huge place for them to have generated that turnover. So close to their own end zone. And that's the way. Calls the timeout there.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
And we are back in the closing moments of this match between Ellipsis men's and Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. Speaking of Ellipsis and Hammertron, on our field next we have a women's quarterfinal between Ellipsis women's and Hammertron Mahuika. And on our other field we are going to see the Canterbury Cannons facing off against the Auckland Misfits. Both two very exciting matches. You'll definitely want to be watching those. But until then, how could you possibly imagine tearing your eyes away from your screen as we have a 2-point difference in a game as we have hit our soft cap? So we will conclude this point, and then we will add 1 to whatever the highest score is at the end of this point, and then race to that number. So the disc is back in. Wilcock playing pressure on defense. Goes back to Chew, marked out by Michael Downey. Symbol comes wide. Hodgson right on the doorstep. Outstretched arms of Wilcock trying to slow him down. Lee was an option. Hamish Furness makes a great play at that one. But Daly keeps it in hand. It goes back to Chew. Can Michael Downey stop him? And a pick has been called. So players, again, are going to be allowed to catch up to where they reasonably think they would have been had a pick not occurred. Michael Downey very active on the defense, but he lets Daly get one, who drives it through to Symbol as Ellipsis hit 13. So we have ourselves a game to 14. Ellipsis, they only need one more point to walk away with a victory. Hammertron, Tāwhirimātea, they need an offensive hold and 3 back-to-back breaks if they want to walk away with a win. And so Osman, Furness, Wilcock, Wilson, Hamilton, Collins, and Downey to take the line for the Hammertron offense as their women team counterpart start warming up adjacent to the field. Hodgson has the disc with the pull for Ellipsis. Finn Collins fields, finds Furness early. Sharma on the mark. Maybe not aggressive enough. Collins trying to shift around and finds a wide open Will Hamilton. Hallisey's not there. Michael Downey, despite the great bid, puts a forehand up of his own. It's Osman and Wilcock. And it's Lucas Wilcock on the cleanup. That's going to be a score. That's what we wanted to see. A huge play by Lucas Wilcock, the trash man. Skibidi young dope. Great bid by the Ellipsis defense, but Michael Downey uncorks a forehand. Wilcock recognizes the position, decides to let Osman take the first bite. Cleans it up in the end. Great play by Chu for Ellipsis to try and shut that one down. But they say in Ultimate, catch your Ds, because there's always going to be someone ready, as a disc is catchable until it hits the ground, as Lucas Wilcock, number 31 for Hammertron Tāwhirimātea, just demonstrated. He's had a couple of impressive layouts, whereas momentum's carried him all the way out the back of the zone in this game alone. It's very, very good to see that intensity, that fire is continuing throughout the game. He's not letting up at all. So we've seen a little bit of a mix-up of the line, some of those offensive powerhouses switching over to our defensive line. This might be enough to put a stop to Ellipsis' dreams of the quarterfinal. The team that wins our match here, Ellipsis with a score, Hammertron with 3 back-to-back breaks, an almost impossible feat. But the team that wins here is going to be the one that moves on to our semi-final match and a shot at the finals with a guaranteed top 4 finish. They will be facing the winner of Group Volume 1 or Bandits. Whereas who knows what's going to happen to the team that doesn't manage to walk away with the win, as Rob Andrews catches the disc marked by Wilcock on the far sideline. There's not enough developing. He looks a little frustrated, comes wide, finds Tom Tullett. Hemi's not able to shut it down. It's Denya, marked by Quixley, puts up the big forehand. Kapoor, Wilcock, but it's Andrews who puts it out. It's Andrews who finishes it off. 14 against Hammertron Tāwhirimātea's 11. Undoubtedly the man of the match. He's put on such a show for the crowd here at Ngā Puna Sports Hub in Christchurch. The New Zealand Ultimate Championships, and we have a strong Australian side pushing for the top 4. hoping to take our trophy back across the Tasman. Just what a play. Double coverage, and he pulls it down. And he's the first to his feet. What an athlete. Almost unbelievable. But we will see what the future holds for both of these teams later on as we have our women's quarterfinals coming up on this field. As I said, Hammertron Mahuika against Ellipsis Women's, and on our other field also being streamed, Cannons from Canterbury versus the Auckland Misfits. Until then, this is the 2023 New Zealand Ultimate Championships. My name, as always, is Blair Munro. What a privilege it is to talk you through some of the best sport you're going to see. Until the next one, thanks very much.
ULTI.TV